Suarez holding his Chelsea in the Champions League final. The headline has been written.
Alright, so if we move on to Ballon d'Or, so to no one's surprise, Lionel Messi won it for the fifth time. He got 41% of the votes, beating Cristiano Ronaldo and Neymar to the award. Wavy winner?
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely a winner that deserves it. Of course.
I think over the past year he has been better than Ronaldo and Neymar. Neymar's had his moment when Messi was injured, but overall I think it's difficult to argue with Ronaldo not winning anything this year as well. I don't think it was ever going to not be Messi to win it this year.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't really look past Messi to be perfectly honest.
So you don't want to go with the claims that it's boring that Messi's won it again.
Well, it's like Michael Jordan, isn't it? In basketball, you can't not ignore people that do well. You know, I know Argentina lost in the final of the World Cup, but he still had a pretty good World Cup, and good players and great players are always judged on their World Cup form. I know Ronaldo is not in a stronger countryside than what Messi is. Considering that they didn't win anything. Real Madrid and Barcelona won the Champions League final against Juventus, and the records that he sets, and we put into context that we talk about the likes of Lampard, for instance, an English midfielder, scores 20 plus goals a season. We rave about players scoring 20 goals a season in the Premier League. Messi and Ronaldo are scoring 50 plus goals a year a season. They're scoring almost 30 more than English midfielders and Premier League midfielders, and the likes of Messi, Neymar and Suarez, the three of them are scoring more goals than the actual Premier League side. They're in the top six.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So the accolades that they get and the standard they are, and this make no bones about it, Lionel Messi is the greatest player ever to play a game of football. I think people going about George Best and Pelé and Maradona and things like that. Lionel Messi is by far the greatest footballer. The reason is because nowadays the players back in the day, they weren't as fit as the players they were today. The pitches are, so much better. It's more pressure. The expectation, the media following, everything that goes with it. He has to be considered the greatest ever player.
It's a very fair statement.
I think it's always hard to judge players that I never saw play. Like, I couldn't possibly say, for instance, how good Pelé was. Like, obviously I can say off YouTube, he did all this. But I think the best player, well, apart from Henry, I think was amazing back in his day. But Messi and Ronaldo are obviously the top two players that, we've ever seen play. I think though, as a top three, the Ballon d'Or, it is getting a bit boring every year. They are the top three, but there's players like Suarez and Lewandowski's had a brilliant year. Thomas Muller, Gareth Bale. I'd like to see different names up there.
But how do you honestly knock Messi and Ronaldo out?
Well, no, I'm not saying that. It's just a shame that it is that same top three again and again, is what I'm saying.
Because I quite like last year. I quite like the recognition for Manuel Neuer, because I think he's an amazing goalkeeper and probably one of the best I've seen in my lifetime. And I was really wanting him to get it last year.
Excellent.
I think goalkeepers. It was just refreshing to see a goalkeeper up there as well and actually getting a lot of credit. Neuer last year.
The problem is with the Ballon d'Or, to a certain extent, it's a voting system within the players.
Yeah.
So if you look at, say, like companies' votes, for instance, he's voted for De Bruyne and Hazard. Ronaldo hasn't picked. No, Ronaldo should be picking Messi, full stop. But they don't pick it. You know what I mean? It's kind of you're picking your mates
Ronaldo
to a certain
picked
extent.
all Real Madrid players, and Messi picked all Barcelona players. I think they've never voted for each other.
They won't pick each other, and even to a certain extent, when we used to do the football league teams, and
that was ridiculous. Yeah, I remember that.
We will get a ballot paper come through a training, and we'll get it about 9:30 from our PFA rep, and they'd be like, right, you need to do this before you go. 9 times out of 10, you pick your mates who you know in other teams.
Yeah.
And he scored Saturday, he puts him in. And sometimes you get the team of the week on the Monday paper, and you just feel that there was never no real consideration of actually who's done well this season and who hasn't. And, the players voting for it, me personally, it should be one striker, one midfielder, one defender, one goalkeeper, and then that should be decided, all the votes, and then you go from there maybe, because each year in year out, I mean I need to see this for confirmation, but in the last 10 years, how many have been strikers and how many have been defenders?
I think Cannavaro was the last.
Yeah,
Cannavaro
won it. I think Oliver Kahn won it as well.
Oliver Kahn didn't win it. He came in the top 3, I think.
But then
Iniesta won it in 2008, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you look at your Messis and Ronaldos and stuff, but you've got to remember that if you look into a team of Messi, if it wasn't for Iniesta and Xavi at the time, for instance, you know, they make a bigger difference in terms of the way that the team plays. You know, for him to do. For Ronaldo, if the 10 other players didn't wear their socks off around him, he wouldn't get the goals he does. You know what I mean? So it's a lot more to it. You know, more and more now, I think it's more of a media show than real recognition for the best players. I think the team of the year one sometimes can be a little bit false because, as you said, you know, the likes of Lewandowski and Suarez and you know, players like that. Again, we're mentioning strikers. You know, they just never ever get the recognition that they deserve for a wonderful season.
Do you agree with Phil Ballon's comments? That it's more a vote for the best striker in the world at the moment.
Yeah,
it's not.
Exactly. Unless you know, the Ballon d'Or changes it thinks you go for the best goalkeeper in the world, the best defender, and you just vote accordingly to set positions, and you just forget about the general out-and-out Ballon d'Or winner.
I do think a problem as well is each country, you get the captain and the coach, and I think some media representatives who
you get one from each country.
And a lot of countries, they vote for their own player. Like, for example, Wales vote Gareth Bale. I think Chile voted Arturo Vidal, and so on. They all vote their own players, which I think is a big problem, and there needs to be some... I don't know how you'd go about fixing it. Maybe
it's a difficult one, because in fairness, you can't really look past Messi. But... you know, but you're right. I think when certain players are not getting recognition, that's where it's been a problem. You know, Ashley, I've mentioned him just coming like Ashley Cole. For many years, he was the best left back in the Premier League. He never got any recognition as the best left back in the world in terms of Ballon d'Or and, you know, being in that team of the year. It's just sometimes the perception of who you are sometimes works against you rather than just your actual talent. But again, you know, we can beat around the bush, but you know, Messi this year has thoroughly deserved it.
Should we quickly go on to the FIFA World XI? So it was Manuel Neuer, Daniel Alves, Ramos, Thiago Silva, Marcelo, Pogba, Iniesta, Modric, then Messi, Ronaldo, and Neymar up front. Did I miss something? Because I don't watch French football, I don't see... Is Thiago Silva really that good? He seems to always get into these teams.
But you could be... You know, I've watched French football, you know, the last couple of years. It's the seasons that Ibrahimovic has year in year out in France is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, he's by far France's best, the best player in France. It's like having an SPL player playing, you know, getting recognition for playing well in the SPL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is a little bit like that, where it's, to a certain extent, you can't just turn up and not play. But the French league is, you know, PSG are by far ahead of any other club in that league, and you know, the likes of Thiago Silva and, you know, David Luiz, who looks actually quite good now in French league, and, you know, Di Maria going there looks a completely different player to what he was at Manchester United. It's not a tough league. You know, you want to see Thiago Silva playing in the Premier League and see how he comes up against, you know, the likes of Vardy and Harry Kane, and, you know, these type of players that are completely different from what you do get in France. French league is very, very slow. It's, you know, I did a French guy, I did Toulouse-Marseille on Wednesday. It's the tempo of it is so slow. You know, most players play with a cigar in their mouth. It's that easy, you know what I mean?
I think the thing with Thiago Silva, though, he did move for a massive transfer fee to PSG, and generally in the Brazil team, he is very good for them in the World Cup. Like, he was so integral to that team, and when he got suspended, that completely ended their World Cup.
Yeah.
I think he gets rated a lot for that rather than what he does for PSG, but I do think he's a good centre back, but it's hard to judge him on his performances for PSG in the French league in general.
Yeah, completely agree. Yeah.
Right, so
He's still a quality 2.5. No, Arsenal would have him in a shot. You know, you know, it's difficult not to discuss it really, but playing in the French league. Is he really being tested week in, week out? Probably not. But you can't, doubt his talent, and being part of the Brazil team in Brazil, he had a fairly decent World Cup.
There's no Premier League players in the lineup. There's been a few arguments that maybe Hazard or Terry could have made it.
Well, if Aguero was fit every game, then I think if he could be in with a shout. But obviously, then he's got to get in front of Messi, Ronaldo. But I think, Hazard was obviously had a fantastic end of last season, but I think it's solely because of the start of the season Chelsea have had that they're not going to even consider Chelsea players.
But I think the problem is if your club side does
More
well,
inclined to put De Bruyne or Yaya Toure.
I mean, De Bruyne had a good season at Wolfsburg, didn't he? And then and Toure as well. I think the problem is that if your club does well in the Champions League, you tend to get in these teams more often than not. If Chelsea win the Champions League, Hazard replaces Modric, for instance. It's kind of, so it's seen like that a little bit. But in a certain extent, the way that your side plays, and I don't even think FIFA football makes a big difference who you play and who you like. It's kind of, I don't know. It's just the way it is really. But Hazard's, especially for the season that he had before the start of this year, was he had an excellent season. He was by far the best Premier League player, but unfortunately, he wasn't good enough to be recognised as being in the World 11.
How's the World 11 decided? Is it the same as the Ballon? I think is it public vote or?
Yeah, I think it's a public vote again, where you basically write your best team out.
Yeah, I think you went on. I'm sure you went on the FIFA website.
I know there was like a 25-man shortlist or something, but I don't know what.
You get like when we've done it, you basically get a sheet of paper, and you have like 10 goalkeepers, 50, but there's no like particular right backs. There's not like 5 right backs, 5 left backs. It's like 25 defenders, 25 midfielders, 25 forwards, or whatever, and then it's selected from that.
Hello, this is Bianca Westwood from Gillette Soccer Saturday on Sky Sports, and you are listening to the V2 Football Podcast.